Hey guys, what's going on? We got kind of a rushed intro today because I was just about to start talking about Bitcoin potentially falling below a very important uptrend of support, that being the 200 daily moving average right here. And if we look in here on the hourly chart, it looks like Bitcoin is doing just that right now. So this intro is going to be a little bit rushed. I do apologize that this is going to be a little bit less normal than it should be. But guys, Bitcoin is currently trading around $8,125. And I kid you not, I had just opened my character counter when I go to make the titles of these videos. And I was about to find the title for this video talking about Bitcoin falling below the 200 daily simple moving average, and lo and behold, that's what it looks like, guys. We're looking at Bitcoin falling below one of the most important moving averages in Bitcoin's history. We're going to be doing some technical analysis on that today. We're going to be looking at that today. We're also going to be looking at levels of support and potential scenarios that Bitcoin could have play out here over the next couple of days. Do apologize for the hasty intro, guys, but we need to get on into this since Bitcoin is moving right now. We're trading at $8,050, guys. Remember, this is not live. This is a video. Go check your charts and make sure you know what's going on. These videos take about an hour and a half to 2 hours to upload and produce. But right now, at the time of recording this video, as you can see, Bitcoin has started to fall below that 200 daily simple moving average. That sits right around here, and Bitcoin has fallen down and looks to be testing support around $8,000. We're going to be doing some technical analysis on this today, guys, as Bitcoin slows down and prepares for its first bounce of what may be many. So if you guys do enjoy today's video, go ahead and smash that like button. It really does help out the channel when you guys do that. I would be very appreciative if you did it. And without much further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get right on into it. Gosh, I haven't even had time to have my coffee this morning, and Bitcoin's already acting a fool. Guys, the Discord server over here is going crazy with this too. Anyway, like I said, in today's video, we were going to talk about price targets and the potential of Bitcoin falling through the 200 daily simple moving average. We don't really need to talk about whether or not Bitcoin is going to fall through the 200 DSMA anymore because it just did. But whether or not we get support somewhere in the range of that is very important because, as you guys probably know from my videos and other people's videos here on YouTube, the 200 daily simple moving average historically is a very important level of support for the Bitcoin market. As we can see, back in 2016 and 17, Bitcoin didn't really fall below that level, not even once. If we go back farther, we'll see that in bull markets, Bitcoin sometimes falls below it briefly. As we can see over here, Bitcoin fell below it for a few days. But in general, when Bitcoin goes below the 200 daily simple moving average, a bear market is starting. So I want to address whether or not that's happening today. In a word, no. Just because we're below the 200 DSMA does not mean by any stretch that we are most certainly in a bear market. Now, let me say that again. Just because we're below the 200 DSMA, that does not mean that the bull market is over. That does not mean that the bear market is starting. What it does mean is that we're going to get some more sell side pressure, and Bitcoin is probably, anyway, not going to hold $8,000. Because let me tell you something, guys. Levels of support and resistance, they act as zones. There's a zone around the 200 DSMA, all the way down to, like, I'd say $7,800. Bitcoin could still get support, and I'd call that a bounce off of the 200 daily simple moving average. But it also just so happens that there are other levels of support right below us as well. $8,000 is a big even, and if we bring out our VPVR, it is also going to show up as one of the VPVR levels, with support being built back over here in May and early June of 2019. So guys, right now we're sitting above some pretty strong support, although Bitcoin did just test and fall below briefly the 200 DSMA. We're currently trading at $8,144 at the time of saying this. But guys, just because Bitcoin is getting support right now doesn't mean it's going to continue to get support, because let me tell you something also, Bitcoin doesn't have a whole lot of support below $8,000. As you guys know, Bitcoin ran very quickly here, ran all the way from $3,000 to $14,000, and especially in this time period between $5,000 to $8,000, there wasn't a lot of trading, and that shows up over here on this gap in the VPVR. And since VPVR is such a powerful tool for finding levels of support and resistance on the Bitcoin market, you need to be looking at where not only the peaks are where there's support, you also need to be looking at where the gaps are where there's not support. And currently, guys, below us around $8,000, if we fall through $8,000, we basically just fell through the floor, and we got to go all the way down to the next floor, and I'll show you where that is. There's some argument about where the next level of support for Bitcoin might be. I'm going to show you a couple of them. One of them, Carl from the Moon's been talking about a lot lately, and that'd be $7,200. Shout out to him. That's definitely a level we need to be looking at. That is the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level from 3K all the way up here to 13.8. Now, I do take a small issue with this level of support, and that is that this is just one of many. I don't think there's anything particularly important about this. I do believe that the 61.8% Fibonacci level is very important. There's a reason I talk about it so much in our Fibonacci level in CT2A. But also, guys, like I said, if we look at VPVR, there's not a lot of support in this zone right here. If Bitcoin does fall down here, $7,200 may be a level of support, but we're just going to have to wait and see whether or not it'll hold. And honestly, below that, guys, if we fall below $7,200, the next kind of support region I see is in between 54 and 6,000. We have a bit of a peak on the VPVR coinciding with this 78.6% level on the Fibonacci, and we also have $6,000 flat. I've talked about in previous videos why, even though we broke bullish through 6K so quickly, that we may be able to still use it as support. But guys, none of that's even really going to matter if Bitcoin does manage to get support here above $8,000. $200. And right now we haven't confirmed a bearish breakout. It very well may be a fake out. A lot of people in the Discord server right now on my second monitor are talking about a fake out. As you can see, we crashed very quickly. This is the minute chart. Bitcoin fell very, very quickly and is rallying pretty quickly now. So keep an eye on this, guys. Just because Bitcoin broke bearish right now does not mean it's going to fully, but I want you to be aware that there is a very strong possibility that we might see some more bearish price action pushing Bitcoin below $8,000. Now, with that all said, there is one more moving average that I want to show you, and it would be the 400 daily simple moving average. Now, you might be just saying, Jeb, you're just pulling a moving average out of nowhere. There's a moving average to fit everything. And while I agree with you, I think this one is special for a reason similar to the 200 DSMA. Guys, when you fall below the 200 DSMA, the daily simple moving average, typically you've entered a bear market. When you get above it, typically you've entered a bull market. And in fact, the beginning of bull markets is very, very well defined by the 400 daily simple moving average. If we go on Brave New Coin, we're going to see that Bitcoin started as bull market right when it broke through this moving average. That's the 400 DSMA. And if we look back over here to 2019, right around the time we were breaking 6K, we also broke above that. And as you can see also, guys, it takes a while in bear markets for Bitcoin to fall below it, but eventually Bitcoin falling below this does indicate the start of a bear market. We can look back on history here as well and see that happening over here in 2014, right around here. So guys, I'll tell you, the zone of support I'm looking for, I'll go ahead and draw it on my chart, would be in between this level, the 400 daily simple moving average, and Carl's level at $7,200. Shout out to him. These are both levels that I think are going to be important right around this zone. This is kind of our make or break point. If Bitcoin starts falling below this, we're probably entering a bear market, or at least a long period of bearishness and neutrality where Bitcoin just falls and it's pretty boring. If we fall down there, if we even fall that far, and then again, if we fall below it, then things might get bad for a little while, guys. Things might get boring for a little while, guys. And remember, the only bad thing about a market is when it has no volatility, and Bitcoin certainly has that right now, so there's nothing bad, there's nothing really to worry about. Point I'm trying to make here, guys, is that we are looking at a crash. We are potentially looking at a bearish next couple of months, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to happen. So to wrap the video up, I want to talk about bullish scenarios, and I want to counter everything that I've said in this video with some bullish facts as well, so you guys get both sides of the story. One of the simplest facts that needs to be brought to your attention, if you aren't already thinking about it, is that every single time Bitcoin goes into a crash, or a downtrend, or a bear market, whatever, every single last time that Bitcoin does that, guess what happens? You give it enough time, you have enough patience, and Bitcoin recovers. About 95% of the history of Bitcoin, no matter where you bought, it's actually like 98%, except for some periods in between about here. Unless you bought within this time period in Bitcoin's history, you're in profit right now. Pretty much no matter where you bought, you are in profit right now. And that's because Bitcoin is going to continue to march forward, it's going to continue to rally, it's going to continue to get more and more valuable as time moves on, and Bitcoin and cryptocurrency become more widespread and more adopted and more well regulated and more well understood and more aware to the public. No matter how bearish the short term looks, guys, let me give you an example of this. No matter how bearish the short term looks, guys, check this out over here. Remember back over here in 2013, if you were in the market back here, Bitcoin ran to $268. 2 days later, it was trading at $66. A lot of people thought, okay, Bitcoin's dead. Bitcoin's not going anywhere. Bitcoin is a failure. I'm going to leave Bitcoin and I'm just going to say, screw it. I'm going to go put my money in something, in some kind of better Ponzi scheme. I'm going to go put my money into something better like bonds or something. Yeah, sure. Well, guys, what those people didn't realize is that they didn't understand what Bitcoin could become. We can learn from the mistakes of the past because Bitcoin has crashed so many times. So many times. Here, so many times, guys. Bitcoin fell below 6K down to 3K. A lot of you guys probably remember that. I remember this. People, Bitcoin will fall. Bitcoin will crash. Bitcoin will crash pretty hard sometimes, but that doesn't mean that Bitcoin is dead, because no matter what the market does, no matter what the technicals do, no matter what the chart does, they actually have zero impact, more or less, on the fundamentals of Bitcoin other than adoption. Everything else is going to continue to march forward, and eventually Bitcoin is going to have a rally. Eventually it's going to break 20K. Eventually the media is going to come back in, the hype's going to come back in, and Bitcoin is going to blow the ceiling off of what it's currently looking at as an all-time high of $20,000. It is quite simply short-sighted and unwise to be concerned about a crash in Bitcoin when everything Bitcoin does is an opportunity. When Bitcoin's rallying, it's an opportunity to go long, make some money. When Bitcoin is crashing, it's an opportunity to short, buy some more Bitcoin for your investing portfolio, make some money. When Bitcoin is trading sideways, it's a break from trading that you can use to go and learn about technical analysis through something like the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, YouTube videos, books, paper trading, whatever. I want to make sure you guys understand that everything Bitcoin does can be seen as an opportunity. There's a silver lining in every cloud, and honestly, I'd say most clouds are completely made of silver. Whether or not you make money in this market is not dependent on what the market is doing. It's fully 100% dependent on you. And I don't know which of you guys need that, but I know there are some of you who do. If you're not making money in this market, it's not because the market's failing. It's not because Bitcoin's crashing, because shorting is just as easy as longing. If you're not making money in this market, it's you. You got to work on it. You got to get better. It's the same thing as if someone wanted to become a plumber and they never touched a pipe in their entire life, and they try to go plumb a house and they have no idea what they're doing, and they break everything and they don't even know what tools to use. And then they start blaming the profession of plumbing, saying, oh, these plumbers, they don't know what they're doing, when these people that are trying to go be plumbers haven't been practicing plumbing for the last 10 years. They never had an apprenticeship. They never went to trade school. They don't know what they're doing. So if they were to go and blame the industry of plumbing, it just simply wouldn't make any sense. Yes, be safe with your money. Yes, make sure you're in profit. Yes, make sure you're being careful about where you place your trades and your longs and your shorts and your stop losses. But also, most importantly, guys, remember that the only factor that is determining how much money you make in this market, and indeed whether or not you're making money at all, is you. The faster you take responsibility for your own actions, the faster that you are going to become profitable, the faster that everything in your life is going to start falling into place, and the faster this video will be over. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much going to do it for today's video. I do want to hear your take on this video in the comments section down below. What do you think of the hasty start? Because I had to jump into the video really quickly since Bitcoin was moving. And also tell me down there what you think of Bitcoin. Do you think Bitcoin's going to fall down to those levels of support that we were discussing, like $6,600 to $7,200? Do you think it's going even lower? Do you agree with some of these other YouTubers like Alessio who thinks that Bitcoin's going to go down to 3,000 or have this wild card scenario where it comes down to 5? Do you agree with Carl that's going to go to 7.2? What do you think, guys? I want to hear your opinions on this in the comment section down below. I really do like having a conversation with you guys, which, by the way, is why the CryptoJeb Discord server does exist. I love talking with you guys over there. There's a good conversation going on over there right now. I have it up on my second monitor, so go ahead and join that. Links in the description down below. I would love to have a chat with you. Anyway, guys, like I said, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. I do want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.